My favorite technique to eliminate weight regain is to simply lose the weight sustainably. I'll be honest, it's not just my favorite way, it's the only way. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jared Hamilton and I appreciate you being here, and I'm really excited to get into things with you today in this video because weight regain just sucks. There's times I actually think losing the weight and then gaining it back almost sucks more than never losing the weight at all, because when you lose the weight, you get happy, you get hopeful, you see like the other side, and then when you gain it back, it's like you took a toy away from a kid, and it's just kind of shitty if I'm being honest. This is why the best way to avoid weight regain is lose the weight in a completely sustainable way. One of the biggest misconceptions about weight loss is you can do something unsustainable like a keto diet or Optavia or Weight Watchers, starving yourself or eating really, really little. And then once you lose the weight, you can either stop doing those and the weight will stay off, or you do something really unsustainable. And then once you lose all the weight, you switch to sustainability, somehow the weight stays off. And it just doesn't work like that. Because at the end of the day, if you lose the weight in a way that is not sustainable, there is no magic trick or special thing you can do to keep the weight off. One of the principles that we coach from that always reigns true is how you lose the weight is going to look exactly how you keep it off. Which means if you want results that last forever, you have to have some semblance of habits that last forever. See, weight loss is no different than any other area in your life. If you quit going to work, you quit getting paid. If you stop brushing your teeth, you start getting cavities. So in weight loss, when you stop doing the things that got you here to the spot where you lost the weight, don't be surprised when the weight comes right back. You've always got to keep things going in your habits continuing if you want to keep the success and avoid the weight coming back. So how do we do this? How do we lose weight sustainably? Well, I have this broken down into the no's, things to stop doing that are not allowed, and then the yeses, the things that are actually going to make this sustainable. Let's start with the no's. No diets with their own name. That means keto, Weight Watchers, fasting, Optavia, or any diet that has a name of itself. No extremes. This means nothing in any facet that could be extreme or all or nothing, which means getting rid of all carbs, all fats, all processed food, only eating vegan, only eating this way. These foods are bad. Exile these foods from your life. Work out every day. No all or nothing. If you actually want this to be a lifestyle like all the quotes say, you have to actually make this where it's conducive for your lifestyle. And if you look at other areas in your life, you are not a perfectionist or an extremist or anything. You thrive in balance. So it has to be the same thing here. No foods are off limits, because the truth is no food is inherently bad or stores fat or does anything negative. It's the context that matters. So when you have a diet that's all this or that or all or nothing with food, and this is allowed, this isn't allowed, that's gonna hurt your relationship with food, make you binge eat, and make this game entirely unsustainable, where you could only do it for a couple months at a time and then end up gaining everything back. Because again, how you keep the weight off is gonna look exactly like how you lost it. So now here is your checklist for the yeses. Only eat foods you love. This means the days of you force feeding yourself and only eating like 4 foods that you hate because you're supposed to for fat loss are gone. Eat in a small calorie deficit, whether you're counting them or not. Because the thing is, if you want to lose the weight, the only way to do it is eat in a calorie deficit. Not to say that you have to count calories to be in a calorie deficit, but you have to understand from a principle standpoint, you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose the weight. Eat as much as possible while still losing. One of the biggest ways people lose this and always gain their weight back is they're constantly in this like race to the bottom where they're trying to eat as little as possible, or they assume they can't eat very much and still lose weight. Versus the way that we teach this for our clients that always work is you need to test your upper limit and see how much you can get away with eating while still losing. Next, eat mostly whole foods, roughly like 80-ish% if I had to give a number. See, when you eat mostly whole foods, you're going to have great digestion, you're not going to be bloated, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to feel better. But just because you're eating mostly whole foods doesn't mean you can't have your favorite foods, which is also why you need to allow yourself to enjoy your favorite foods, literally any single food you could possibly want, just in moderation. But you can do that whenever you want, even every single day. And then lastly, you'll want to add in fundamental strength training and just walking. Nothing crazy, nothing overwhelming, just fundamental strength training and walking more. You see, the major keys I give you with that are principles, not an exact way to eat or an exact system. I don't want to tell you what to eat. I don't want to give you a Jared sustainable plan only. I need to give you principles. That way you can take those principles and apply them to your life so you can actually enjoy it, and it's tailored tailored to you. So if you follow the principles I just laid out, they're the same ones we have all of our clients use, you'll have the same success that they have. So at the end of the day, the only solution to never regain your weight back is to lose the weight sustainably. Because if you can't do what you're about to do for the next 10 years, you should not do it for the next 10 days. And that is it, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Be sure and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you have questions, comments, thoughts, please leave them in the comment section below. Check out the description for some other cool stuff I have for you. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week.